shoe minting is a key activity in STEPN. Are you a master at it? What's up YouTube, this is Daniel and I'm back with my next video, and in this video, I'll be telling you all you need to know about the shoe minting event in STEPN. I'll be running through a comprehensive guide on all the details that you need to know about shoe minting. Watch all the way to the end for a bonus tip. So let's jump right in. Before we dive in, I'd just like to say that STEPN is a growing community, and I like how that many of the community members are actually making the game more meaningful by providing more community data so that all of us will be able to navigate the game more efficiently and so that we can even be better at the game collectively. This video is a follow-up from my previous shoe minting video for beginners. I do think that this video will cover in detail all the mechanics about shoe minting, and perhaps this is not something that all beginners will need to know. However, if you're looking into playing STEPN for the long term and you're thinking about minting the shoe in a sustainable way, or perhaps if you want to make the perfect sneaker, these are the mechanics that you need to know about. And so in this video, I'll actually be going through a Twitter tweet thread by this guy called Edgar. And honestly, he has written a few awesome tweet threads about STEPN. And currently, he has only about 4,000 followers, yet the STEPN community is more than 100,000. You just need to check out the official STEPN Twitter account. They have actually just reached the 500,000 Twitter followers milestone. And so 4,000 is just but a fraction, but I do think that his content and his analysis is pretty good. So do show him some love by following him on Twitter. And so the recent tweet thread that he has written is regarding shoe minting, as you can see. And I'll be going through the tweet thread and also be giving you my explanations and insights on what he says in the thread. It's a 13-part thread, so do watch all the way to the end because it gets better towards the end. And so at the very beginning, you see that it talks about shoe minting, and the thread below is meant to dig deeper into the STEPN shoe minting activity. And he does tell us that it is a mixture of information from the white paper and the community generated data to explain the process and the most profitable way to do shoe minting. And in the STEPN white paper, it actually explains that the shoe minting event is when the users use two sneakers which they own as a blueprint to breed and to produce a shoebox in the process. And the criteria is that both sneakers need to be at least level 5 and unused in any previous mint in the last 48 hours. And that is actually known as the 48-hour mint cooldown. And because sneakers form the basis of the STEPN app, it is a required NFT for anyone wanting to enter the game and looking to earn GST. And there are several ways where someone can earn through STEPN. And these options are: 1. To sell off all the GST that you have earned, and second is to use the GST to level up your sneakers and mint more sneakers, and after that sell those sneakers. Here, it really depends which strategy is more profitable at the point in time. As you can see, it depends on the current price of GST, the current dynamic minting cost, and the floor price of the sneakers. And here, VenXHH, another community member, has created a very useful website so that you can check the current minting profitability. Of course, you can do it yourself through a spreadsheet, but here he does help you to update some of the prices in real time, and a snapshot of what you will see on the website as such on the left. Using the website, you'll be able to tell which is more profitable, whether to cash out through selling of GST or to use that GST to mint new shoes and then sell that shoes. Next, a recent update on shoe minting is on the dynamic minting cost. And if you're interested about that, I've actually made a video on that, so you can check that video up here. And here it's important to take into account the chances of getting a twin shoebox as well as the chances of getting a lower or higher quality shoebox or sneaker, which could decrease or boost your revenue stream. We don't really have the data on what are the chances to get the twin shoebox right now. However, we do have data on the rest, which is that we have the data on the chances of getting a lower or higher quality shoebox or sneaker as given in the STEPN white paper. And so here, another STEPN community member, Crit_STEPN, has actually helped us to visualize the offspring quality chances nicely. And do check out his Twitter page as well, because he does provide many insights through the charts that he creates from the community data that all the STEPN users provide to him. If you're interested to help him out as well, to provide your data, to improve the information and the insights that he can get, do check out his Twitter page and follow him. And I do think that there you can find the Google form where you can input your own data. And so if we focus on the common, uncommon, and rare sneakers, which are the most common sneakers right now, how to read this table is that if you look at the table on the top, the chance to mint a common sneaker actually refers to the outcome, and the shoe vintage type is as seen from the first column and the first row. So you see that for the vintage type of a minting between a common and a common shoe, there is a 97% chance to mint a common sneaker. Also, for the vintage type of an uncommon and uncommon shoe, there is actually a 24.5% chance to mint a common sneaker, which means that 1 out of 4 mints between 2 uncommon sneakers will give you 1 common sneaker, and that will significantly lower the revenue that you'll get from the shoe minting event. However, if you look at the table in the middle, which is the chance to mint an uncommon sneaker, when you mint 2 sneakers of vintage type common, there is a 3% chance for you to mint an uncommon sneaker. This will significantly increase the revenue that you get from the shoe minting event if you were to sell this shoe away. Next, you also see that if the vintage type of shoe used for the shoe minting is both uncommon, there is actually a 72.08% chance of minting an uncommon sneaker. I do think that the strategy should be that you want to get a sneaker of a better quality or at least of the same quality. And so when you mint between 2 uncommons, you should at least aim to get an uncommon sneaker, because if you get a common sneaker, you actually lose out on the revenue. But if you're lucky, you might actually mint a rare. This is the same also for the rare sneaker, and you can actually check out the table for yourself. And so shoe minting is a cyclic process, and it starts with having 2 sneakers at level 5. Then you need to perform a shoe minting event between these 2 sneakers, and you need to open the minted shoe box, and that new shoe that you have opened from the shoe box will be at level 0, and you need to bring that shoe up to level 5 so that you can use that shoe for the shoe minting event. Do take note that you need to wait 48 hours for a minting cooldown on the shoe that you have just used for the shoe minting. And once the cooldown is over, you'll be able to mint with both sneakers again. And similarly, after that, you'll need to open the shoe box and then level the shoe to level 5, and then you can repeat the cycle. Once you have minted your vintage shoe twice, you can actually consider selling that shoe away, because if it's possible, you do not want to use shoes with mint count of more than 2 for the shoe minting event, because the cost of minting between shoes of mint cost more than 2 actually increases. And so on this, another community member with the Twitter handle STEPN recently did a tweet on this topic as well. And so one of the graphics that he has attached is on the right, as you can see. And so we'll be going through half of the process here. And in my own personal definition, I do think that there are many other people who call this process by different names, and personally, I do call this the 0-1 mint flip. And this is a strategy where you can mint STEPN shoes indefinitely. And so what you want to do is that you need to start off with 2 shoes, and one of the shoes minimally need to be at mint 1 and level 5, and the other shoe needs to be minimally at mint 0 and level 5. And so you can see it as shoe A in red and shoe B in green. And so you want to do shoe minting between these 2, and that will actually give you shoe D. And after the minting, you'll see that shoe A is at mint count 2. And so you actually want to sell that shoe off, because you don't want to keep minting with that shoe. Because if you mint with that shoe, the prices of shoe minting will increase. In the next step of the process, you want to use shoe B for the shoe minting event again. And not only do you want to use shoe B, you want to use shoe D, which is the shoe that you have newly minted and brought up to level 5 for the next shoe minting event. So you do a shoe minting event between shoe B and shoe D, and that will actually give you shoe E. And right after the second mint, you'll see that shoe B will have reached mint count 2. And here you'll want to sell shoe B away, because you don't want to mint with a shoe of mint count 2, because that will again increase the cost of shoe minting. And if you see on the right, I do think that this table is still in force, because this table tells us the number of tokens required in shoe minting events. So when you mint between 2 commons and both at 0 mint, it will cost you 200 tokens each, and this will remain the same from 0 mint to 1 mint. But at 2 mints, you actually jump up to 250. And if you mint 2 shoes and both having a mint count 2, it'll cost you 300. And what dynamic shoe minting cost changes is the proportion of GST to GMT in the token counts, not the number of tokens. This is similar for uncommons and rares and epics as well. And not all shoe minting events are exactly the same. Depending on the combination of the vintage sneakers, there are different percentages on what the outcome shoe type will be. So for example, if you minted 2 walkers together, you have an 85% chance of producing a new walker, but also a 6% chance to get a jogger or a runner, and another 3% chance to get a trainer. The full details are in the white paper under shoe minting. And here you see a visual to help us visualize the shoe minting of the sneaker types. As of currently, trainers are the rarest and most valuable and most wanted sneakers. Walkers and joggers are more desired than runners and could yield more profit when selling. The runners are the cheapest right now. All this does contribute to the revenue that you'll get from the shoe selling. So what you need to take away from the chart is that if you mint 2 sneakers of the same type, you're highly likely to mint a sneaker of the same sneaker type. Also, if you mint a non-trainer with a trainer, you're highly likely to get a sneaker type of the non-trainer shoe. So on top of that, you need to consider gem slots as well, because gem slots can significantly boost your earnings, whether is it GST, GMT, or even luck for the earnings of mystery boxes. And not only the sneaker type, but also the sneaker sockets are determined by its parents. And so for example, if both parents have a luck socket in its top left, which is in socket 1, there is an 85% chance for the new shoe to have a luck socket in that position as well, right? And you can see that in the diagram below. Here, the image below visualizes the chances of getting certain socket types. Do note that because you're unable to earn GST and GMT together, you should not aim to have a shoe to have both efficiency and comfort sockets, because you won't be able to use them together. So it is most likely that you can only use 3 socket types together. For example, you can use the efficiency, the luck, and the resilience ones together to earn GST and mystery boxes together. Or if you don't want to earn GST, you can use the comfort, the luck, and the resilience to earn GMT and mystery boxes together. And so what you need to take away from the chart is that if both parent gem slots are the same, you're likely to get the same gem slot in the minted shoe. However, if the 2 gem slots are not the same, there is almost a 50% chance to get either of them in the minted shoe. And of course, there is also a small chance to get any of the other 2 gem slots as well. And right, so there are many concepts about shoe minting which makes it a complex operation, and you need to be familiar with each one of them so that you'll be able to maximize your earnings and perhaps to even breed a perfect shoe in STEPN. It does say here that we will need to try to apply the above concepts on our current inventory to improve and increase our STEPN revenue stream. And I do think that the 2 methods which he has talked about to increase the revenue stream is, one, to sell out your GST, and second is to use the GST to mint new shoes and then sell those shoes. However, I do think that in shoe minting, you can actually get more shoes to grow your inventory and to move on to progress through the different stages of the game. So for example, I can use shoe minting to get myself from 3 sneakers to 9 sneakers, which will get me from 4 energies to 9 energies. And that will actually help me to increase my GST earnings significantly each day. If you like this content, do remember to like and subscribe, and do follow Edgar and all the other community members providing this information on their Twitter account. And so here I have a bonus tip from one of the comments on the Twitter thread, and it does say that the difference between selling your GST and selling your sneakers is that selling your GST, you're actually selling into a liquid market, and actually you're able to do so most of the time. However, selling an NFT sneaker is selling it into an illiquid market, and you may not have a buyer all the time at that certain price. So do remember this difference when you're trying to cash out your profit or to increase your STEPN revenue streams. Now that you have known all about shoe minting, do proceed to start minting your shoe, and if you're interested to find out how shoe minting can take you through the different stages of the game, do check out this video here. See you next time!